Hello, welcome to my channel Crafty Fox DIYs. In this video, I'm going to be sharing with you some super cute bee decor ideas. Let's get started. For this first project, I'm making a bee skep. I'm using some yogurt cups, and the bottom of the yogurt cup is wider than the rest of the cups. So I'm putting one row of this thick rope that I got from Temu. They also sell similar rope at Dollar Tree. And I just put one row around. And then for the rest of it, because it's basically the same size, it kind of tapers off at the top. Then I just keep wrapping the rope and securing it onto the plastic yogurt cup using hot glue. And I have my hot glue gun temperature on low so that the hot glue isn't too hot and melts the plastic cup. And I just keep going all the way around the yogurt cup with the hot glue and the rope. Once I get to the top, then I just cut the rope off and then push it down into the center and glue it so that it's nice and neat on top and it doesn't, look bad. There we go. And now I want to make the little hole so the bees can fly in and out, and I'm just taking some black acrylic paint and just painting a circle on there. And then I'm taking some jute rope. This is thinner than the rope that I wrapped the yogurt cup in, and just glued that around the hole. And then I have these little teeny bees that I'm going to glue onto the bee skep. Once I get those on there, and then I'm going to add some greenery onto the bee skep. I just cut a little piece off of this vine here. I believe it's a willow vine, but I like the little flower things that are on there. And then I'm gluing a sunflower onto the top. And that's it for this one. So cute. Okay, for the second project, I am making a wreath. I'm using the bicycle rim wreath form from the Dollar Tree. This wood round, it's a 6-inch wood round. I got that from Temu. The bees I took off of a sign that came from Dollar Tree. I just used my hair dryer to heat the glue up, and then took a knife, just a plastic knife, and scraped the bees off. Now I painted the wood round black, and now I have this stencil, and I'm going to stencil on some of the honeycomb and some bees onto the wreath form. This was moon yellow, and I added a little bit of tangerine to it just so that it wasn't the bright yellow, but it had more of just a slight orange tint to it. I just thought it looked better as far as like honey goes. Then I used a white paint marker to color in the wings of the bees, and also to write "Welcome to our hive" onto the wood round. Now I wanted to dress these bees up a little bit because they look so fake. So what I'm doing is tracing out the wings with hot glue, and also the lines on the inside of the wings, just tracing those out. And then I'm going to take some white tissue paper and put that over top of where I did the hot glue. Then I just take my scissors and cut off the excess tissue paper. The parts of the tissue paper that I'm able to cut off using the scissors, I'm just going to take a paintbrush and get some water on it, and then just go around the outline of the leaves. Get the tissue paper wet and it'll just tear right off. So I'm just going to do this all the way around, and in places where I couldn't get in there with the scissors to trim it off. If you had a smaller pair of scissors, you could probably do it with those, but it also works just fine using the paintbrush with the water on there. Like I said, I just get it wet and then just tear it off. Now for the body part, the abdomen of the bee, I'm taking this white paper, just a piece of plain white paper, and pressing it down onto the bee's body so that I can get an outline. And I'm going to cut that out to use as a pattern, because I'm going to cut some glitter gold tulle that I got from Dollar Tree to glue over top of the bee's abdomen. It's just going to give it a little bit of glitz, but it's not going to cover up the black or the yellow, either one. It's just going to add a little bit of glitz to it. So just use my little paper pattern there, cut a little piece of the tool, and then use the pattern to cut out the tool so that I can glue that onto the bee's abdomen there. Just put some hot glue across the stripes on there, and then I pushed the tool down on top of it. Now I wanted my sign, my wood round, to stick up off of the bicycle wheel frame. So I'm using some beads and popsicle sticks to give it that elevation. I put one popsicle stick onto the wood round, 3 beads, and then another popsicle stick on top, and then put that onto the bicycle frame wreath. Bicycle frame. You know what I'm talking about. Now I'm taking this grapevine and I am going to wrap that around the bicycle frame, and I'm just taking some hot glue and putting that onto one of the little spindles, and then pinching a leaf around it to hold it into place. And then I'm weaving the vine in and around each of the spokes and also around the rim of the wreath form. And there's no specific rhyme or reason to this. I just kind of want it to look like it's been sitting outside and a vine has been growing in and around it. So that was my inspiration behind this, how I'm, gluing it on there. I don't want it to look all uniform or anything like that. And now I'm taking these sunflowers. These were also on a vine, but I didn't want them to be as a vine also. So I just pulled the sunflowers and the leaves off. And then I cut the stem off of the sunflower so that they would sit more flat against the wreath form, and then hot glued the leaves and the sunflowers together, because I'm going to use the leaves, the green leaves, to help hold the sunflowers onto the wreath form by wrapping those around with hot glue onto the spokes. Now I'm taking those bees and I'm gluing those onto the wreath form. And I found it easier to put some glue on the bee and then turn it over and put some glue on the back side as well. And also any leaves that were there where the bee were, to add some hot glue there so that way they would help hold the bees onto the wreath form. And now I'm going to add a couple more flowers onto the wreath form. I wanted to get the bees on first and then add in those last couple sunflowers. I like to do things in odd numbers too. So I believe that there are 7 sunflowers on here and there's 3 bees. And there it is. I love it. Okay, for this third project, I am making a garden flag. I'm just taking a piece of burlap and then using these stencils. And you want to make sure that you are using outdoor paint. I can't remember what kind of paint it is. I know it's multi-surface folk art. Folk art multi-surface paint. It's dishwasher safe and it says indoor, outdoor right on the bottle. And I discovered that it was easier to line everything up by working from the top down. So I put the welcome part on first, and now I am using this jar. It's like a little mason jar with sunflowers on the bottom. And I used the moon yellow for the sunflowers, and I had mixed up some green with some orange to create the greenish brown color that I put in the center of the sunflowers and also for the welcome. And then for my bee, I done the leaves, the wings in white and the body in yellow. I didn't have any black, so I will have to go back and do that later. But I will, be doing that. I just need to get some indoor outdoor black paint. And there that is. Super simple. I made it double-sided. Okay, now for this last project, I'm using one of the 6-inch wood rounds and one of the middle bees from Dollar Tree, and then a calendar page that came from a calendar from Dollar Tree last year. And I'm just painting the wood round in black. Then I'm going to trace out the calendar page, and then I'm going to cut it and use Mod Podge to adhere the calendar page to the wood round. I don't mind if there's a little bit of wrinkling on my calendar page. Now, there may be some projects, or if I was making this to sell or to give to someone else, I may be a little more concerned with the wrinkling, but there's minimal wrinkling, so it doesn't bother me any. And then I'm going to paint the bee. Now, I don't show that step. Some footage got lost on this project a couple different times, but I was having trouble getting the black paint to stick to the bee. So what I did, I went in and covered the bee with Mod Podge, let that completely dry, and then painted over top of it, and I've had no trouble then getting the paint to stay. Now for the wings, I'm taking this mesh. It's white and it's got some silver lines through it, and I'm gluing that onto the wings, and I'm taking my utility knife and cutting the mesh out around the wings. This was the easiest way I could find to trim the mesh up on there. The mesh I got whenever Christmas was over at Dollar Tree. They had their stuff 50% off, so I'm so glad that I bought that. I bought some red and some white both. Now I'm using the moon yellow, and I am painting the stripes on the bee's body. And now I'm adding the antennas, and these are just some chunky pipe cleaners that I got in a package from Walmart. There was a bunch of different stuff in there, and these chunky pipe cleaners were in there, so I'm using those. And then I'm taking 2 regular pipe cleaners and twisting those together, and I'm going to glue that over top of the yellow stripes. And I, like I said, lost some footage, so I don't show that part, but I do end up going in, because I didn't like this color of yellow, and I painted over top with it. It's like the yellow that I used on one of the other projects with a little bit of orange in it. That's what I ended up using, and I think it looks better. And now I'm taking this jute rope, and I am outlining the bee with it. Just went all the way around the wings and the body. Now I'm gluing on some googly eyes and using a white paint marker to give my little bee a smile. It looks happy. Now I'm using my sanding block after the Mod Podge has dried to get the excess calendar page off from around the wood round. And now I'm using that chunkier rope to go all the way around the wood round. With that, I'm just putting some hot glue on the edge and wrapping the rope around the wood round. Making a little bow out of the jute rope, and where the 2 pieces of rope go together, I'm just gluing that on there. Okay, now the footage I lost though was me making the hanger and adding the bee to this wood round like that. But I just used the jute rope and created a hanger on the top, and then secured the bee to the wood round so that it was hanging down off of it. Now let's take one last look at all of these projects. Okay, that's all for this video. Let me know how you decorate your home for summer. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.